Banned and restricted announcement update today for Magic the Gathering, hitting all of the non-rotating formats, basically all the pretty much relevant ones. So from the top, historic Uro Titans of Nature Wrath is banned. He's being banned in all of these formats. Good riddance. Cards overstayed its welcome. Glad it's gone. I wouldn't mind seeing more bans in historic, sculpting the ban list a little bit more. But I also think just Uro is fine. I think my one request for historic is that if we're okay with Muxus being legal in historic, and I think it's probably fine based on win rate metrics, it's just weird to me that Muxus is legal but Winota is still banned, especially with Agent of Treachery no longer being a card in that format. I would really like to see Winota come off their ban list if they're okay with things like Muxus being legal. Pioneer, Balustrade Spy, and Undercity Informer are banned. Spell lands, oops, all spells. That makes a lot of sense. Teferi Time Raveler is banned on top of Uro. So I wasn't expecting to go back to doing any Magic Online content because I honestly wasn't expecting them to ban this card. But this change, especially with Wilderness Reclamation being banned as well, I am going to be taking Pioneer decklist submissions from people that want to submit them, just like I'm taking Standard and Historic. I think this change, I just dislike the play patterns of this card, so I don't want to play formats with it. But Pioneer seems interesting in general, especially with the Pathway lands making 2-color mana bases better. So this is a format we'll probably dip back into. Modern. I don't know that I'm going to be playing more Modern because Teferi is still legal there. There's a lot of other good Magic formats at this current point in time, but all these changes seem good at a glance in Modern. This is a card, Simian Spirit Guide, that's like overstayed its welcome by probably a decade or more. The last time I did play Modern was shortly after this card had started becoming popular, and getting Cryptic Command locked out of the game with this card, especially the fact that you can search it up with fetch lands, just like a really miserable experience. This seems like a good banning overall too. It's interesting that Field of the Dead is getting banned. I don't know. I haven't played enough of the format to really speak to this, but I do find it interesting that this card has been classified as not okay, but things like Valakut still stay around. But like I said, I don't really have strong feelings about that because it's not something I've really played with or against since it became popular. Tybalt's Trickery being banned. That's just kind of funny. That's probably fine too. Like, they're getting rid of Spirit Guide, so like maybe this didn't need to happen, but like, I don't know, I won't shed any tears for silly combo decks. People that I know that play a ton of Legacy are super happy with these changes, so they're probably good. Lurrus being unbanned. Honestly, I think this is something that they need to do more often in all of their non-rotating formats. I feel like while they do ban new problem cards with some consistency, I feel like revisiting things that are currently banned that could maybe come back off is something I'd like them to do more often, such as like why I mentioned Winota in Historic Above. This was banned before you had to pay 3 mana to draw this into your hand. You could just like crack Black Lotus and play Lurrus and then replay Black Lotus. So the fact that this is basically a 6 mana companion now probably makes it fine in Vintage. I don't know. I don't play a ton of that format either, but I have a hard time imagining this effect being busted for 6 mana. The rules change here is good. This notably means that you can no longer cascade into Valki and then cast the Tibalt half. The part that is notable here is it now checks the spell's mana cost twice. It checks that the card you're cascading into is cheaper than the cascade card you've played, and it checks again that the card that you are casting is less than your cascade card. So you can technically still cascade into Valki, cast Tibalt, but the card you're cascading off of would have to cost 8 mana in order for that to be a legal play now. So that seems good. I mean, seems like a good update overall. I think they could have done a little bit more with Historic, but not upset or disappointed with it by any means. Was actually pleasantly surprised to see them ban Teferi Time Raveler in Pioneer. This is a card where it's not from a pure power level perspective, doesn't need to go away, but I honestly wouldn't mind if this card got like the Oko treatment in general. It was just like deleted from Magic because of the way it kind of warps the game around it. But having a third Magic format past Standard and Historic, that might be worth playing for me personally, because I don't like this card. Sounds fun. So tomorrow on stream, we're going to be diving into Historic all day. And if Historic ends up being reasonable, Historic's going to get mixed into my regular content schedule with Magic stuff back and forth, depending on what I'm feeling like playing and what people are thinking looks good in the format. So thanks for watching, and see you soon.